Trevor Noah was doing his thing. He got his daily show. Everyone's like, oh, SA is blowing up. And on a low, you managed to hook up a gig Australia-wise. Everyone thinks it just happened.
Yeah.
How long was this in the works?
I think, personally, the comedy community has always spoke about ourselves in an international space. And there's more guys venturing into the international space, but it's something we've been talking about for years, 6 years. We go, okay, how do we approach this? It's so crazy that me and Trevor would bump into each other at festivals, but we always text and chat and be like, oh, this is happening, this is not happening, or if a gig is coming up, he's like, oh, and we chat about career stuff, what visa is good to get, was good to get. I got the late night news show 2010. That time he was already in LA making moves, right? But I was going and coming back. He was touring for months. Like he'd do like 4 months straight. What Trevor did is so amazing in terms of what he did. It's a beautifully big thing. But then what it does to a person who doesn't follow comedy, and I've been reading a lot of press about it, they don't understand the context of it. They don't understand that we're dealing with a special act. Like, you're probably never going to see an act this special with such a career trajectory in a long time. And I say this.
This is from you.
This is from me. So when they, so.
Are you recording this, dude?
So
record this, man.
But, so if in your context of stand-up comedy, you're using him as an example, you're using the wrong example, because we're dealing with a special case.
How hard was it to then get the visas and then have agents overseas trying to field you work?
Right. Man, it's a difficult thing trying to find an agent. I realize now in my travels of trying to find an agent that all the agents in South Africa and managements, they're playing games. They're not real managers and they're not real...
I think the industry is small, so no one knows what to do yet.
Right. So it's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because there are no rules. So when I get to America, I don't have that, I need an agent to talk to this person. I go, I just call it. Whereas the American acts are so caught up in structure that they don't allow themselves to call.
When was the first trip that you took and you were like, oh, damn, I just performed overseas, I'm getting more bookings. Actually, I need to come back here next year. When did it happen? When did it start and how?
I think my latest trip to New York and my latest trip to London, because as you go and as you get into the scene, you know, in New York, yeah, you do 4 gigs a night. Like a night. In any given time in New York, there are 30 gigs happening in the city. So if you're a working comic in New York, you're doing 4 or 5 gigs a night. And some of these gigs, you find Chris Rock, Dave Spade, Aziz, they're all there sitting to get on, and you sit with them backstage. And the cool thing is that they just, oh, hey, you, where you from, man? I'm from South Africa. Oh, cool, you're really funny. And then you move on. So this trip for me, there's a premier club called the Comedy Cellar. They finally get me on stage. They're like, you can jump on, right? So I'm like, cool. Right? We heard about you, jump on. I'm sitting there like, we're gonna put you on the 8 o'clock show. We'll call you in 10 minutes. Cool. They're like, man, we gotta have to can you off the show. Why? David Spade just rocked up. But we'll put you on the 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock comes, we can't put you on because Aziz Ansari just rocked up. You know what I mean? The 12 o'clock show, like, we'll put you on the 12 o'clock show. 12 o'clock show, they're like, nah, you can't. Louis C.K. just rocked up. Then I was sitting with Trevor at the time. He's like, nah, man, this guy's got to get on. You got to put him on. And he went to the club owner, and they put me on.
He's the Daily Show Noah now.
He's a different guy.
He can pull some coats.
He went there, he's like, yo, you got to put him on. You have to put him on. He's leaving soon. I vouch. And I got on and at the Cellar, and now I can play the premier club in New York forever and ever. Amen. Unless I I mess it up. But it's fun, man. It's really fun. Like when you were in New York and you sitting there, you're like, that's David Wade. He's about to get on stage just before
after you. Or before you. Your content was controversial. Once upon a time, people were very scared of what you will say, even though you were booked or they'd book you or they were asked to book you. But they'll always be like, Loyiso akana decorum, and you never ever switched up. You never ever accommodated them. They had to accommodate you. How difficult was that? Did you sit at home and go, I could get this invoice if I just tone down my content? You're not a rapper, but you stay verbose and you stay bold with what you say. How necessary is that? And the conflict that you fight when writing your material.
I'll tell you, you know what, I tell you the honest truth, and this is gonna sound bizarre. The one guy, he's probably gonna go, this is crazy, who influenced me to just stand up and believe in the shit that I'm doing, is probably Gumbi. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Oh.
Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. He came and he was doing these rough, really rough jokes. I would say crazy shit, but he would say these things. And I remember at Blues Room, people used to be shocked.
Cringe.
Yeah, and he just used to go on and do it. I told him this, and he just, oh, you lying. I said, dude, you stuck by your guns, and he's a big star now, and Trevor does it on his own terms. I believe the best way to succeed at anything you do is to master the craft, and everything else will come. So with stand-up, I go to the dingiest and the dustiest of clubs, and every week, so people will tell you, I saw Loyiso at this club and he was performing and I only paid $20. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? Like, and I'm trying out material because I'm trying to perfect the art. The art to me will always be more important than the loot. Because rappers are like, I sold more. I'm like, did you kick a better verse though?